Hello, everyone. Nura here. So we have our new moon in Pisces, March 2nd. That's early morning, Wednesday at 12 degrees Pisces. This is going to be yin, mutable water. And so we're already in this sign with the sun shining its warmth from Pisces. And this is the sign of the dreamer, the dancer, the mystic, the poet, the one who is yearning for oneness, the one who is yearning for the connection with the divinity within all, the divine beloved, the healer, the one who forgives and loves all unconditionally. So that's very much the energy that we're in right now. So feeling into all that is transpiring around you. And then also tuning into where you have Pisces in your chart, because this is where you are learning transcendent wisdom. And this can come through in many ways. And that's really the beauty of Pisces, is that it's the sign of oneness, but there's no single one right way of accessing transcendent wisdom. So this is a season and also a new moon that is going to evoke Piscean energy, and it's going to look unique for everyone. And this new moon is simply an opportunity to connect with transcendent wisdom and timeless truth in the way that is most potent and beneficial for you. So depending on what you're experiencing at this time, this is an excellent moon cycle to focus on forgiveness. This is really a time of major endings and just witnessing what's going on in the energy of the collective. We can really feel that. There's a lot that's crashing to the ground. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It's the sign of endings, but also of new beginnings. There's an immense fertility in the energy of Pisces because it's right before the spring. And so we can see all around us in the world this literal fog of war. And yes, there is unfortunately, physical warfare for sure, and some very horrific things going on in many places. And there are many people that are suffering. And so this is actually a beautiful time where we can take this energy of unconditional love, healing, peace, forgiveness, and send it out. We can just blast it out around the world. This is a time to really enter our alignment as peacekeeper. And on another level, there's really a spiritual war that has been going on for a very long time. And it's coming into more plain view for all to see. I mean, it's been going on for so long, but maybe there's been a collective denial about it. But what I really see is ending in this new moon in Pisces is really echoing is there's this ending of the facade. And so we're really becoming more attuned to our personal roles in this spiritual war time. Who do we get to be? What type of warrior are we? Are we a warrior for peace, a warrior for justice, a warrior for light, a rainbow warrior, right? Are we here fulfilling prophecies? What are we doing? So thank you for being here with me, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I know this is a really potent time, and I'm going to keep this pretty brief. And I just want to invite the energy and the question of, where do we get to put our energy to expand and heal? Where do we get to put our energy to dream? This is all Pisces territory. What do we get to create from our imagination? How can we imagine a new world, something different? So with each new moon always comes a divine seeding of intention. So it might not always be apparent on day one of the cycle. And I find it rarely is. Like, you're going to get images, you'll get glimpses of what's going on, of what's coming. You'll have feelings and inclinations because it's the dark moon. It's also the time of the dark goddess, right? There's this energy of, you have to go within. It's not going to be obvious on the outside, on the external, what it is for you to focus on. So usually around the new moon, we just want to become receptive. We want to become empty vessels to receive the divine seeding of intention. This is an excellent week to really up your meditation practice. If you're not already meditating, perhaps finding a word like love or peace or an easy mantra, like everything is always in divine order. That's a really beautiful Piscean mantra to just repeat to yourself, and then notice how that shifts your interactions in your day-to-day. And then usually we start to see a little more of the action of the lunar cycle by the first quarter moon. And we see things really start to culminate at the full moon. And then after the full moon, we begin the integration process at the last quarter moon, which is the wisdom of the cycle. And then we come back into ourselves once again to become that empty vessel to receive at the coming new moon. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about what we're going to be working with energetically with the 4 different moon phases. So our upcoming cycle starts with the new moon in Pisces, which is March 2nd, early morning, depending on your time zone, but Wednesday, March 2nd. And then we have the first quarter moon in Gemini, March 10th, and the full moon in Virgo, March 18th, and the last quarter moon in Capricorn, March 24th. So where you have these 4 signs, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn, these are going to be the most emotionally active parts of your chart this month. So we can form intentions around bringing in the most balance and wisdom in relation to these 4 archetypes, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn. So starting with Pisces. And it's okay if you don't, in this exact moment, know where you have these signs in your charts. I will be having a workshop on Saturday, March 5th, if you want to learn just the absolute basics of how to understand and read the glyphs in the chart. And I highly recommend you join. You can find information at nurarochelle.com or at spiritandspark.com. Or if you're on my mailing list, you'll be able to receive the invitation to that. But it'll be for the true beginner. And if that's you, then welcome. I mean, welcome to the beautiful portal that is astrology. It's seriously the doorway to everything, the doorway to greater rewilding and healing and faith and just so many beautiful things, so many beautiful ways to love ourselves. So this Pisces energy actually feels like a really good time to really just connect with your wholeness. So Pisces invites transcendent wisdom. Once you find out where Pisces is in your chart by house, and if you have other planets there, just take a moment to realize, like, wow, this is how I get to connect to innate, timeless truth. This is where I am here to dream and to imagine and to create in relationship with spirit. And so there's this wholeness, this timeless truth that cannot be taken away from us by any external condition. No matter what's happening in the outside world. That's why Pisces is associated with faith. You cannot take it away. It doesn't matter what's happening. You are in faith. And so there's something that's really unshakable when you trust yourself, when you trust life, when you trust the divine. And that's an opportunity for this new moon. And where you have Pisces in your chart is really going to show you that's also how you get to contribute that out into the world. So I have Pisces in my 11th house, and the 11th house is about community. I really see it as my job, as my role in life, to sow seeds of hope, to sow seeds of faith and peace in my community. And so that's why I'm here doing this work. So then when we have the first quarter moon in Gemini, we'll start to see a little bit more of the information that's wanting to come through this cycle. And so Gemini invites understanding of two-ness, right? Of relativity and duality, and the nature of truth and information as relative according to the perceiver. So we know there's always more than meets the eye in what we're witnessing globally. What we're seeing in the news, there's always so much more. And so the first quarter moon in Gemini, I think we might see some information coming out, and it might shake us, it might rock us. But remember, come back to that original energy of Pisces seeding faith, right? So trusting that everything is always in divine order, and that your right action, the right words for you to speak to the right people are going to come through in the right moments. And so where you have Gemini in your chart is going to show you the part of your life that there's a message wanting to be delivered through you. And then when we have the full moon in Virgo, so let me get the date there again, that's March 18th. Virgo invites the awareness of purity and discernment. So really helping us to focus our energy where it will be most fruitful and beneficial for us, helping us to connect more with our body wisdom, because Virgo is earth, yin, mutable earth. So how we get to change earth. And that means having control over what we're doing with our body and how we're eating. So there's something about connecting more with our body wisdom and letting that purify us, and really trusting our bodies and our ability to heal. Beautiful opportunity with that coming full moon. And so where you have Virgo in your chart, you will get the opportunity to reflect this month about 2.5 weeks from now, March 18th, to ask what is being discerned in your life. Like, where do you need to become more pure in your body so that you can be more discerning? And how will this help the people around you? Because a lot of times the full moon energy is around relationships because it's sun and moon opposing each other. It's the two-ness, again, that opposition. So the full moon almost always invites some aspect of relatability with others. And then March 24th, the last quarter moon in Capricorn, this is where we start to get into the crone wisdom, the enchantress phase, the part of the cycle that's all about wisdom. And so Capricorn invites awareness of our path as the authority of our own lives, being the sovereign leaders and radically responsible creators of our destiny, and all that that entails. So toward the end of this cycle, about 3.5 weeks from now, when we have that last quarter moon in Capricorn, there will be a beautiful opportunity to step even more into our own power. So knowing that that's the process, that's the path of emotional unfolding, emotional awareness over this month, what is stirred up inside of you? If you think about where you have Pisces, where you get to be in transcendent wisdom, and where you have Gemini, where there's a message, where you have Virgo, where you get to purify, and where you have Capricorn, where you get to be the radically responsible leader of your life. That's the opportunity of this cycle. So just take a deep breath to really breathe that in. If there are any messages or any words coming to you already, I invite you to write those down. I pulled a card around the energy for this cycle, and particularly in relation to the new moon, and it is this, the Hermit. It's time to go inward. It's time to silence the noise. It's time to perhaps listen to only the quality of your own voice, your own internal voice, your own relationship with Great Spirit, God, Goddess, whatever your terminology of how you connect the divine. And maybe looking into where you have Pisces in your chart to establish, like, this is what you get to reflect on. And so really coming in to retreat and recharge. And I have a few journal prompts for you before we close this brief container. So, where can you bring more forgiveness to yourself, to someone in your life, to the collective? Where can you bring more forgiveness? Wherever it needs to go. What are the messages that are most important for you to focus on? And part 2 to that, how can you silence out everything else? Like, once you establish the messages that are important for you to focus on, how do you reduce the overwhelm? How do you release the potential for scattered energy from your mind and environment? How do you silence the other voices and focus on the voices that matter? And what wants to be purified within you? And how can you support your purification process? Is there a plant ally? Is there an exercise practice, right? Is it yoga? Is it breath work? Is it, drinking more green tea? Like, what can you do to support your purification process? It's probably drinking more water, really, probably for everybody. And what are you being invited to be radically responsible for? What is your portion of the collective destiny that you get to be responsible for molding and shaping? Maybe you're a parent. That's a big one, right? Capricorn has a lot to do with parenting. How do you get to be radically responsible as a parent in changing times where the whole structure that we thought was our life is different? Also, what's the connection between your personal responsibility and what's being alchemized in the broader human story? So there's a lot there to reflect on. And overall, for this new moon time, what is being seeded within you to grow and evolve during this cycle? So, final reminder, we have a workshop this weekend, Saturday, March 5th. There will be a replay available, which will be sent automatically if you purchase upfront, or you can also purchase afterwards, but I think the price goes up by a couple dollars if you purchase it after. If you are on my Instagram at Nura Rochelle, you can see the link in my bio to get your ticket, or you can head to nurarochelle.com under the workshops tab to see how to get your spot. And there's also, if you're watching this on the Spirit and Spark page, there should be a link below to access as well from there. So that is an open invitation if you are a budding astrologer and really wanting to understand how you can read your own chart. Like I mentioned a lot today, I mentioned how to find Pisces and Gemini and Virgo and Capricorn. And those are the kinds of things that we'll be talking about in this workshop is simply how to find it, how to even know what it is that you're looking for in your chart. So if that sounds exciting for you, I would be so honored to have you. And I just look forward to connecting with you in whatever way we do. And I hope you enjoy the beautiful possibility of this new moon in Pisces. I know there's a lot going on in the world. I know there's a lot of up, there's a lot of down, there's a lot of side to side and everything in between, right? And you're probably feeling all of that within you, especially if you're connecting with this message, right? You're probably an empath. You're probably somebody who's navigating, intuitive skill building and being psychic, right? Like just allow the energy and the information to wash over you, and then allow what is ready to be surrendered, what is ready to be let go of, to just say thank you, I love you, thank you for what you taught me, and goodbye. Let it go back to source. Make space for the new that really just wants to come in and bless you. Okay. Happy new moon, and see you next time.